George Russell is the ultimate psychologist. I believe he did what he did on purpose. He waited to the last couple of minutes and then put the fastest time for psychological impact. His time wasn't as fast as I think the fastest time this whole weekend was Norris yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. But they're all around the same, 129 point something. But he comes out and does a very good lap to cement the day. Mercedes didn't really focus with him on race pace. They had raced him with Antonelli yesterday, and Antonelli got dusted by Norris and by McLaren. I think that's partly because it was cold conditions and the McLaren car was doing, whether it's cold or hot. Later on, the reason I bring up the hotness because of today, but in general, McLaren's car is very consistent in neutral conditions, which aren't too hot or too cold, and even they're supposedly supposed to be the best in any condition for like overall balance and consistency. So Norris yesterday had a very fast time was 31 seconds ahead of Ferrari and Mercedes, 31 seconds ahead of Antonelli and Leclerc. So that shows the car is very fast. But we have to remember that it was Antonelli driving it. It wasn't George Russell. So, and I don't think Russell did a race sim this year. So that's a mystery. Mercedes may be hiding their race pace. But to sum it up, before I talk too much, it seems like like coming off of this weekend, we still believe that McLaren has the best overall race pace. Last thing I like to say is that even with the race pace, when they were on even tires per lap, he was beating the Mercedes with Antonelli and the Ferrari with Leclerc by 0.3 seconds. Then when he was slightly slower than them, he was using the C2 and they were using the C3, he was still 0.3 or 4 seconds. Then when he was using the C3 and they were using the C2, which is slower, he was beating them by a lap per second. So it shows that under conditions that aren't too hot or too cold, that car is fantastic. Okay, I'll start with Mr. Ajayi. What are your thoughts? Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for having me. For me, actually, the I'll just say like the season testing is it's I get what's happening, when we say the fastest lap and so on, but I think
Yeah,
it's mainly like it's mainly the driver and the car for that. It's like they get into each other, for the season, the driver and the car. That's what's
yeah,
happening right now.
I
So
agree. It's not just the car; it's the driver-car combination. Yeah,
yes, so everybody is actually what is actually happening. I think because if I was a driver, it's like I'm just concentrating on, okay, what's the limit of this car? And I'm testing the limits and so on. I'm not really
yeah,
really concentrating about the lap times
yeah. I
of of
agree.
of, of the others
Hi
and so
guys.
on. So it's all about really like what's his name, the new guy for
Antonelli.
Mercedes, Antonelli. Yes,
Antonelli.
Yeah,
he
he was
he
pushing it to test for
yeah, he
grip.
was pushing it, and it for anybody for anybody just watching for the first time, you'd think, oh yeah, he's a new guy and he's making a lot of mistakes. But no, he was like pushing it, and that's why he was making those mistakes and knowing the limit,
Yeah,
And I'm very, very curious to see how the drama is going to play out between Russell and Antonelli this season.
Antonelli. Yeah,
What's
I
going
think
to what's
Russell is
going to
more.
happen.
I think Russell is, and I agree with what you're saying. So what I would say is, it's very clear that Antonelli has fantastic pace because he had very fast
Cheers,
laps.
everyone.
Cheers, cheers. Yeah,
Sorry.
he had very.
Cheers.
Yeah, yeah, cheers. I got my own too, my beer here. So Antonelli had very fast laps, but he did have moments where he was stalling. But like they said, and I was listening to the commentators, they said that because he's new, he's trying to figure out where the limits are. And this is what
Yes.
Verstappen is good at. But Verstappen is 27 years old and has been doing this 10 years longer than Antonelli and does a lot of sim work. So I agree with you very much on that. And I think Antonelli did very well this weekend. He was up in the top three or top four with each session that he was doing and did a great
Mm-hmm.
job. But I do think that he's going to struggle with Russell. Russell today had metronomic, they use the word metronome. It was perfect metronomic pace. He was doing 35, 35, 35, 35 within 1/10 of a second. He was consistently putting the same lap times without any errors. So I think that's what he's mastered now. And this is why it's going to be a problem to beat Russell if he comes in P1 and gets at least a 2 or 3 or 4 second lead on you. It's going to be hard to pass him because he's getting more and more consistent. But like you said, this is practice. But I think because Russell doesn't have to worry about testing edge limits and stuff because he's a seasoned driver. I think
Yeah.
today he was trying to send a message.
A
Femi,
message.
very quickly,
Yeah.
what do you think about that? Femi? You think so that he might have been trying to do that? Send a message to everybody that, look, this is what I am. And I think it's a psychological message he's trying to send. What do you think? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, let's. What do you think of Mr. Ajayi? Then we'll go to
Oh,
Afolabi.
me. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay.
He's trying to send a message. Yeah. What do you think
Oh,
about
yeah.
Russell?
Of course, of course. Yeah, that message that was like a clear message. Exactly how you even pointed out because he waited, for for the for for I think
The last
when
6 minutes.
yes, when they also when the
The
track
fastest
is
time.
all the track is all sticky, so that he can really get it in there. So he really
Yeah,
went into there and then just make that, even for himself too. I think he too because he has a lot to prove for himself as well.
yeah.
That now he's the main man now.
He's the
He
bold.
has
He's very bold.
yeah, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm sure we're gonna get to Hamilton's Don Hamilton, as we will say
Oh yeah, we're
now.
gonna talk about Hamilton in a few minutes. Yeah, thank you. So
Yeah.
let's get to Afolabi. Afolabi is like, wait a minute, this is not the Moose and Ajay show. It's also the show too.
Yeah.
I think,
Sorry, brother.
Mr. Ajay, are you drinking Ragolis or vodka? All right, Afolabi, what's your thoughts? Yeah,
I feel the Mercedes car has become a little bit more predictable. The first
yeah,
quarter of last season was very, very unstable, and they couldn't predict their car because of stability issues. And if you look at Russell at C2, he demonstrated exceptional consistency, and his lap times are very impressive, indicating that their tire management was very, very good. Also, in the
yeah,
race simulation compared to Ferrari, Mercedes exhibited better degradation control. And this
yeah,
suggests that they may have resolved last year instability issues. And even
yeah.
though it may not be the perfect start yet, but as Toto Wolff said, he said they are not outrightly dominant, but their balance appears better across different conditions, which I think is the
Yeah, I
key
think.
factor for race consistency.
Yeah, to be honest with you, well, let's see what your thoughts are, Kunle, in general, with Antonelli versus Russell, and what we were talking about. Mercedes seems to be improving. What do you think, Kunle? Is Kunle there? No, maybe he went out. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next thing. Femi, no, John. I said I knew somebody named Femi Ajay. John Ajay. So the question I have here is that it seems like McLaren has pushed more towards the front of their car. They've made their car a little bit more fronty, and it's causing over rotation problems. Yesterday, they had a few over rotation problems where they lost the rear grip, and Norris played it down. But today, it was even more markedly serious. So it seems like they're beginning to not that they're beginning to lose some of the balance they had because they're now focusing on upgrades and they've lost the fine balance they had last year. I'm not saying they've lost it totally, but there may be problems in which maybe they advanced their car too much. Because I was telling Afolabi that if I were McLaren, I wouldn't have made any major changes to my car this year since they have a very stable platform and everything, and just stick with it. And also, they may be having problems because they know that they're going to lose their front wing, so they might have tweaked with their car a little bit. They're going to lose the front flexi wing, and they might have tried
Yeah,
to make
no,
some.
is it the front? I thought it was the back flexi wing.
No, no,
They
no.
had
The back flexi wing has been banned, but
yes, yes.
after 9 weeks, the front flexi wing will be banned after
Uh-huh.
Spain. You know how the FIA is. They're
Yeah, yeah.
corrupt. They're going to let it go. But they're beginning to lose the back end of their car, the rear, and that's never happened before. So these are signs that their balance may be a little bit off, and it's a sign that Mercedes has caught up. Not that Mercedes has caught up, but they've closed the gap with balance and predictability. What do you think? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, I like for the report about them losing the behind a bit. I think
Yeah,
that has to
sorry,
do.
one more. Let me give you 2 points of information.
Yeah.
It's at the middle of the corner. They lose it for some reason, and then they lose it
Hmm.
coming off of the corner when they push because they have their front grip has improved, but I think it might have affected the balance between the front and the back. What do you think? Yeah,
Yeah, I think yeah, that ban of their rear wing has something
yeah,
to do with their instability now. So I think they're trying
yeah,
to work that out. That
yeah.
so because that helped them. Excuse me.
Right.
That helped them a lot last season. I mean, they did say that I didn't know what it was, but they were saying that McLaren had their aerodynamics. They got their aerodynamics on point last season. That's why
Yeah,
they were really impressive. So, but now that they've lost this advantage, I don't know what's going to happen. We're seeing
you know
that.
what they
We're
say?
seeing that.
Only like Red Bull with their asymmetric device. You don't have it anymore. Let's see what you can do now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I remember once Hamilton. There was at the end of the race, so Hamilton came third, And I think Lando came second, and then Verstappen came first. It was one of the races last year, and
Yeah.
then so Lando was like, and Hamilton said, "Oh, you guys are fast," and he was like, then Lando was like, "Yeah, then it was your time. Now is my time."
I think that was
Something like that.
the Dutch Grand Prix where Lando Norris won by 21 seconds.
Yeah, so so he was like, "Yeah, it's our time." So right now, we're gonna see whether
Yeah,
it's that.
maybe you know what's funny, Kool-Aid? Maybe what happened to Red Bull last year, where after Miami they plunged, is going to happen to McLaren too, because you have an innovation, teams catch up, then it gets banned. What are your thoughts,
Mhm.
Kool-Aid?
I love Hamilton's war cry at the beginning of the season. You saw that his
Oh,
cry, I'm a black man in a white man world. I got no kids, I got no wife. All I want to do is win. You don't know me. Nobody
you don't know
knows
me, Puff Daddy know me. Yeah.
So is huffing and puffing and he's struggling with the
No,
testing,
but he
or
didn't do
is
too
it
badly
solely
yesterday.
or is
He
he
had the
having
second fastest time yesterday. But like I said,
exactly? So he's
take it with a
tweaking
pinch of
whatever. He's basically what I always suspected is basically tweaking it and
yeah, yeah,
a couple more screws on the nuts and spanners, and I think he should be all right. I think he's
yeah.
going to be a big threat.
So
Um,
Kool-Aid, go ahead. Sorry to cut in front of you. Go ahead. Yeah.
oh yeah, so I was going to say, yeah, I'm interested in this fight between Gorgeous George and Antonelli.
Yes. I
It
want to hear
is
what you
because
And
George
he's
was
gorgeous too.
always
He has curly hair like a
yeah, that's why I
Greek
call
boy.
him Gorgeous George.
They're going to be
So
fighting over combing their hair. Which one gets the
yeah, I
combing?
think they're going to be fighting for third and fourth place. I don't know whether they will attain third and fourth place, but that's where I see Mercedes. I don't see them finishing first or second, either the constructors or any of their individual cars. I think Red Bull and McLaren, even without counting Ferrari, are just going to be too much for Mercedes this season.
Okay,
Because
so
also
here's
I
what I
don't
believe.
think Russell's not that high before, and I think he'd struggle.
So here's the thing. Russell had the most consistency this weekend, and he had the fastest time today, and he dropped it. But he had consistent times, lap per lap. He kept the same time, like on a delta. So it shows to me that he's precise. And when you're able to keep the same time, it means you don't go too fast or too slow, and you can manage your tires. So I think he'll manage his tires well. But I think the problem with Ferrari right now is that Ferrari they're declining. They weren't able to do more than 10, 15 laps before their tires started degrading. So I think that might be a problem for them. What do you think, Afolabi? You have a good point, Kunle. I agree with
My
you.
problem with sorry, I was going to say
No,
my problem
Kunle,
with
go ahead. You can
Russell is
respond,
that
Kunle.
as
Go ahead.
fast as he is in testing and qualifiers, he struggles. He doesn't have racecraft, and
Yeah.
25 points are up for sale in the races, and he's not consistent. He either
Yeah,
doesn't finish or has a problem, or he. So that's
yeah.
my only problem
Yeah,
with
so
Russell.
I
Go
think
ahead.
that so what I think is that this week they showed the data, and I think Afolabi saw it. George Russell did like 20 to 30 laps with the same time. So I think what it is that Russell, if he comes in P1, it's very difficult to beat him. But if he's second or third, that's where he makes mistakes and racecraft. So I think Russell is dangerous in that if he gets a 5 second lead on you, it's going to be very hard to beat him. What do you think, Afolabi? Yeah.
Yeah,
But I agree with you, Kuli. We have to wait till the season before we can really figure out. But your points are very valid. What do you think, Falabi? Yeah.
yeah, George Russell was very, very consistent, and I feel Antonelli is going to bring the best out of that guy. I think he's going to step up his game because of Antonelli, and I think he was very consistent. His lap times were really very consistent, and he managed his tire very, very well. But in
Yeah.
contrast, Ferrari's short run pace was good, but their long run performance was very, very dubious. And I think it was because of the C3 tire rapid degradation. Hamilton's
Yes.
C3 tires thing displayed rapid degradation. And this raised a lot of doubts about their race consistency. Now, is that a setup or a fundamental issue? If it's a setup issue, Ferrari could rectify it. However, if it's not, it could affect and compromise their long run competitiveness. And that's why I have a problem with them.
Yeah.
I sincerely hope it's a setup
Here's
issue
my
that they
theory.
can easily
They
fix.
changed their push rod. They changed their front suspension and made their car
Oh,
more
okay.
fronty. So I suspect that for now they're having problems with front
In
tire.
fact, they had to end their testing very early because of
They're
concerns
having
about
problems
their
with
degradation.
they're having front and it's the front tires because they've changed their balance. They changed their suspension system and they
Yes.
and also
And I think that
so yes, it's
suspension
very
is
complicated.
degrading the tires more.
Yeah, there's something going on with Ferrari with the changes they
Well,
made.
because the more grip you have, the more friction you have with the
Yeah,
tire
so
on the ground, the more degradation
Ferrari
of
had
the
very
tire.
good grip. So I think that's what's hurting them, that happened to them last year too with Leclerc. And also you have to remember Leclerc and Hamilton both are very hard on tires. They're very hard.
Very
They're not
hard on
smooth
time.
like. Yeah, we're gonna go to Femi. I see he agrees
I
with. Thank
think
you.
Hamilton is good at tire management, though.
Yeah.
He's shown ability at tire management.
Yeah, but the thing about Hamilton is that he's okay with it, but he's usually used to using the back tires to drive. And in the new era with ground dynamics, you have to use the front tires more. So I think that's, and especially Leclerc though. Leclerc really wears out the front. What are your thoughts, guys? Very brilliant, sir. I won't lie to you. This is a bit slow. What are your thoughts, Mr. Ajayi? Yeah.
Well, well, okay, for like Don Hamilton, it's just for me. This is like the Jedi going to the becoming a Sith. That's how it seems like for me. For a Jedi becoming a Sith Lord, that's like Hamilton was like.
I have a joke. The team principal for Ferrari said, "Fast you are."
So, well, and I get what Hamilton wants. He wants to just drive and win, and then Mercedes are like, they look like they're slowing down in his stuff. So, yeah, I heard about the suspension. I think, well, what Ferrari were trying to do is like they don't want to even work on the 2026 car.
They're going all out for this year.
They're going all out. Yeah, they just want to win something this year with Hamilton, and then I'm telling you, if Ferrari can be the same car as last year, because the car was still fast enough last year. There were some issues, when Leclerc had, but the car was still quite fast. What's the name? Sainz was really doing quite well.
Yeah, I'm still crying about
Ferrari.
That.
So if the car can be, if Hamilton can get a car like last year with Ferrari, he's gonna. I think he will make he will make it difficult for Red Bull. He's gonna be a big competitor. That's what I think.
So let's talk about Red Bull. Verstappen almost had the fastest time of the day, and Red Bull has not changed too radically. And right now, Red Bull looks more stable than McLaren. Because Red Bull doesn't have
Red Bull only have the one driver. The second driver is unproven.
And I'm talking about
a new driver.
So that's a big problem.
But
he's good as Verstappen is just half the team.
But I think so.
They have a new modified nose design that they planned for Melbourne.
Oh yeah, they brought it today.
It appears they've launched it already.
And it seems like their car is a lot more stable. And the thing about Lawson is only going to give feedback. He's not expected to win. I don't think they can win the constructors. We know they won't. But Verstappen still has a shot of winning the championship because the car is very stable and it hasn't gotten so much faster, but it's gotten a lot more stable. They're not having problems with grip at the back of the tire. They're not having problems with oversteering. They put something in the front on the nose that's making it, because it's funny because Ferrari has so much oversteer, it causes understeer. But they put something on the front nose to balance it out a little bit. And it seems like even though they may not have as much pace as McLaren and Mercedes, they have a lot more stability. And then we all know that Verstappen is a magician and can figure out if you're not 0.3 of a second faster than Verstappen per lap, he may beat you. That's what I have to say. What do you think of Falabi?
I think Red Bull are the worst team because they can only get one driver to be good. Sorry.
No, I agree, but I think that the Red Bull car has improved vastly on stability.
Yeah.
And all that this guy has to do is to make sure that he comes 9th or 10th as he gets some points and is able to keep people honest. But I think one big problem for McLaren though is that Piastri is not driving well, and I think that even though McLaren is faster, Verstappen will beat Piastri even in that car, and he's going.
I'd have loved to see Hamilton take Piastri's place. That would have been more fun.
He's going to be on. So in other words, we can bet that Verstappen will be on the podium all year, which is going to be dangerous. What do you think, Johnny? Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to look at how I was trying to go from like the constructors. Who won the constructors last year?
Oh,
McLaren.
Yeah. Okay, on Ferrari. So I'm trying to see. Ferrari's car is actually still quite good. It's just that Leclerc had a lot of mishaps, and that was like driver errors. So I was just trying to just work my theory. I was just thinking because I sort of use theory, like as in like if Hamilton can get a car as good as last year, he really it will be Red Bull and Ferrari that will be making the
And McLaren.
headlines.
I think the problem
That's
with Ferrari is they
Yeah,
changed their
yeah,
front
but
suspension.
in the first quarter of last year, Hamilton had issues with the W15 of Mercedes. He kept complaining about stability. He
oh yeah,
kept
My,
he has
my,
complaining.
had
my
issues
issue with Leclerc,
ever
wasn't
since.
Leclerc at Renault before he was at Ferrari?
But Kool-Aid, here's the thing.
And he was
So
always crashing and having engine problems at
yeah, but
Renault. And he's
but he
still
was
having the same
17.
kind of problem at Ferrari.
Kool-Aid, he was
That's
18.
his
But here's the
main
thing.
weakness.
So Kool-Aid, here's the thing though. But when Leclerc went to Ferrari, his first year Ferrari, he beat Vettel, and that was after Vettel had become world champion and moved to Ferrari. So Leclerc has tons of talent, but he's erratic, like you say. He's erratic.
He's too he makes too many mistakes that
Yeah.
takes him out of races for me to think he can win multiple championships. He might struggle to win one, but
No,
But
he
yeah,
would
also
you
makes too
would you
many
say he's
mistakes,
as
as
error
many
prone as
engine
Lando Norris?
failures
Is he as
or
error prone as
crashing.
Lando Norris?
So I thought here's what I would say. Lando Norris doesn't make technical mistakes driving. He makes tactical mistakes. So the problem is that Leclerc can be leading and he'll lock out because he's too wild. So driving skills, Lando Norris is perfect. But the problem with him is that he's not aggressive. He doesn't he lets Verstappen bully him. And also he makes stupid mistakes like when you see a yellow flag, you keep driving. So it's
So
he makes
yeah, all those aspects.
he makes mental errors. He doesn't make driving errors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So yeah, this has been a good show. We're gonna wrap up soon. I'm gonna go around the circle. We're gonna go with Kool-Aid first. Barrister Williams, what do you have to say? What are your last thoughts, Kool-Aid? Is Kool-Aid here? I think Kool-Aid is
I think it's
something's
stuck up.
wrong. Okay. What are your thoughts, John? Yeah.
Yeah. So well about the testing, I'm okay. I'm just going to just check it out, see how it goes. I just recently I just heard that science is actually doing well in Williams.
Oh yes,
He's
very
really,
well. Thank you for bringing up
you know,
Williams. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
So I'm I'm a Hamilton guy. I'm actually a Mercedes guy. And then when Hamilton and Mercedes came together, that was like for me the best thing that ever happened. But now Hamilton have split from Mercedes, and that's actually that's the and I don't like Ferrari. I don't like red. But now I'm
You like green?
I like green, I like black, I like the silver stuff, So but right,
No,
but
you
I've
like
always
green. You like he bought green leaf. I'm just kidding.
Like red
oh
very
yes,
much.
oh yes. I like the green.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah. So for me, it's going to be actually quite interesting to be supporting Ferrari because of Hamilton,
Yeah.
and it's going to be interesting. I think I just hope it's not going to be like on that first race, then Hamilton's just gonna blow out and everything's just gonna look weird and shit like that. I
No,
want to see.
I predict Hamilton will come top five. I don't know where.
Okay.
He can anywhere in the top five. That's what I predict. Okay.
I
Yeah.
think he's going to finish sixth, but I think he'll
Maybe.
do better in the second season.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Ending thoughts, Kool-Aid? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hamilton will finish sixth, but he'll do better in the second season.
Yeah.
I think there will be a rivalry, but I think Leclerc makes too many mistakes to really challenge like that. He's going to become the second driver quick and fast. Verstappen and Norris are going to battle it out for the championship. It's going to be close. It's something that is you can throw a coin in the air. It's a coin toss. If you're right about Verstappen
Only
or
because
Norris,
McLaren has a faster car. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. We've ignored Aston Martin.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Dropped off
They
somewhere.
got the Mercedes engine,
But
Yeah.
they didn't get a lot of laps during this period, and they just don't have
They remind me of Bowser in Super Mario Kart.
Oh yeah,
I still don't know why.
Bowser.
They
Bowser.
the slowest accelerating car, but a high top speed, but they're never in the challenge to win the title.
Yeah, I think
Um,
they're focusing on 2026 when the
yeah,
changes.
they're always focusing on the year after because they're never going to win it. Really,
Yeah, they need to get rid of they need to get rid of
that's
Lance.
what the
Lance is a
North
good driver,
London
but he's
clubs
not good
like.
enough. I don't want to talk bad about Lance because I believe in talking good about humans. He's not a bad driver, but he's not good enough to win a constructive or
yeah. Oh yeah, okay,
Definitely
I
not
get
good
that.
enough to win a title.
not a title. Okay, what are your thoughts on Afalabi? So Afalabi, take us out, guys. Brilliant show. Now I can say this is the best Formula One show coming out of Nigeria.
Yeah,
maybe
I just wanted to chip something in about Aston Martin. They had a lot of understeer struggles and handling, and I'm a little bit concerned about Aston Martin. But then again, they might be keeping their cards to their chest and disguising some of their setup
that's what I'm
optimization.
thinking. Yeah.
But because
same with Haas.
Yeah, same with Haas. Because their preseason data shows that they're not doing very well, but you never know. There are probably some things that they're not telling all of us.
Yeah, they've been working. They're saying that they've gotten better on mid to high speed corners. They weren't focusing on race pace and they weren't focusing on one lap performance. So it's very difficult to tell. But yeah, they're still having problems because the team is in disarray. It's in disarray. Okay, you guys, thank you. I have a question for Mr. Ajayi. I know you're a Formula One expert. Are we the first channel to come out of Nigeria to ever talk about F1? Or is there any other?
I believe I've never heard any other. I've never heard.
Hallelujah.
So,
and Nigeria is the biggest black country in the world. So guys have to support our show. No,
okay.
Yeah, because this is important. This is very important. We're pioneers because we have a lot of Nigerians who do soccer shows, so we have to still compete with them. But for F1, we're doing it, and this was a very brilliant show. Okay, last thoughts, Afolabi. And so you guys, let's try to come back on Monday or Tuesday. Okay, thank you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I'll text you. Mr. Ajayi, I'll text you after the show about the other information. Okay.
All right.
It will be interesting to see how Aston Martin performs, especially now that the brilliant Adrian Newey is there. And with the experience of Alonso,
wow, that's true.
I'm just curious.
But Adrian Newey he can't start working for them. I mean, he can't work. He's going to be working on 2026. He's not really working on this year's time.
Immediately.
But you know what they say in Nigeria story. I'm sure behind the scenes he's doing work for this year too. It's just that he can't.
Is he going to be the Braun of this era? Anywhere that Braun went turns to gold.
The guy is a pioneer. He's a pioneer.
I think let's see whether he will pioneer his way into this new place.
There's also one engineer that went to Ferrari too as well. That Ferrari took somebody from Red Bull as well.
Yeah, I forgot the guy's name. He went there. Yeah, so they've lost a lot of people. All right, so brilliant show. Thank you guys.
All right.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant show. And from Kunle Mustafa, and I wouldn't want to call him a rookie, but he's featuring for the first time, Mr. John Ajayi. It's been very exciting having you on.
We're all in the same class.
See you guys later.
Okay, thank you guys. Bye-bye.
All right. See you.